Alright guys, I ended up car hunting today, looking at a few things, and in that time I ended up having some dead time and got to play around on YouTube, and was really surprised at finding all the Guardians of the Galaxy movie trailer news. Man, this thing is just a buzz. You know, the trailer premiered, I think, this past, I don't know, Monday night, and you know, I watched it. I've seen it on Facebook. I've you know. And now I'm seeing these little YouTube clips come up where they're introducing characters or something. I haven't watched any of those and stuff. But what I was surprised to find was there's actually a few videos on kind of saying why this movie is going to be a flop. You know, the Marvel Guardians of the Galaxy. Some people are predicting to be a flop. Some are adamant. Some are like, I hope I'm wrong. Some are like, I just have this weird feeling. And I'm completely, I can't be objective. I cannot be objective. Because, when I first heard they were making a Guardians of the Galaxy movie, I was like, kind of like, really? You know, this is kind of odd, you know, because, you know, we've had Iron Man, Thor, Captain America, Hulk movie, Avengers, so on, you know them all, in the sequels, and some more sequels are coming out. So, you know, I'm just kind of doing this for fun as a counterpoint, because I'm not slamming anybody that made a video predicting this thing's going to flop. Man, what is the deal? But, you know, because, you know, I'm a fan of some of their channels and stuff, you know, so it's no biggie, but I figured I'd just do a counterpoint, just get on with it and stuff, right? So while I was sitting there, I was kind of like, came up with a few little notes on why I think it's going to be a hit, you know. Now, the Guardians of the Galaxy that these guys are going to be, I kind of lost my excitement when I found out that it's going to be the current Guardians of the Galaxy, alright? Because, you know, I was like, well, whatever, because I read a few of those books, and I was just not impressed. If anything, I think the comic would hurt the movie if people went out and started buying the comic and they didn't go anywhere. And when I said I couldn't be objective, you know, it's because I've known about the Guardians of the Galaxy since 1977, since I was 4 or 5. They popped up in the, you know, I read my stepdad's Thor annual from 1977, so I probably read it right when he got it, or within a year of him getting it. And right there, you know, in the story annuals, the Guardians of the Galaxy, this is one of the comics that hooked me. So Guardians of the Galaxy was one of the first, you know, Marvel books, you know, the Marvel characters that, you know, I became real familiar with besides the Spider-Man after you get past all of them. Much like the movies are doing now, you know. You've seen all the big boys and the big players, and now you're seeing some of the second tier stuff. And here's the one where I replaced it. So that's the actual one. So, you know, I was like, okay. But I got excited about the movie again when I found out they were getting Michael Rooker from Walking Dead to play Yondu. And I'm like, well, how are they going to do that, you know? And as for you guys that are movie guys instead of comic book guys, Yondu is the guy with the fin there. And he has a bow and arrow kit. He's kind of an arrow type, you know. But the difference is that it's made of metal from his planet, to where when he releases the bow and the arrow shoots, he can whistle and control where the arrow goes. Okay. So anyway, here's why I'm thinking Guardians of the Galaxy is going to be a hit. Okay. First of all, you know, it's new. Okay. Just to begin with, it's new. It's not a remake. All right. With RoboCop stalled. Every time I hear about them making some remake of an 80s movie, and I'm like, why? It doesn't deserve, you know, the Fright Night movies. I can go on and on. All these remakes they made over the last years where they're just kind of mining the 80s and stuff. They're almost always inferior movies. Like, there's really no reason to make to make them. No need to remake these movies. And, you know, some of the movies were so far off from what the original concept was, they should have just rebranded it as a new thing and give it a whole new title and not have anything to do with, you know, the Total Recall, the Fright Night. Fright Night would have been a great movie if you didn't know it was supposed to have been Fright Night, you know. Anyway, it's new. And a lot of people in their videos are saying that the general populace is not going to know who the Guardians of the Galaxy are. They're not going to go. Well, they got the Marvel name brand #1. Okay, Marvel has been putting out these movies since 2008. The Marvel movies themselves have a fan following. Okay, and the fact that it is new is what makes it great. They're dodging the hero fatigue. All right, of another superhero movie. Well, this thing is a sci-fi movie, and it looks like it's going to be fun and everything like that. You know, so that's right there. They've avoided hero fatigue, and they're giving us something new. It's a sci-fi movie, okay, but it's still going to tie into the Marvel movies. Okay, the people who are fans of the Marvel movies are going to go see the Easter eggs. So just to kind of put this in a nutshell, nobody in the general populace really knew who Iron Man was except for the comic book people and, you know, maybe some kids who watched the 90s cartoon and stuff. So saying that the Guardians of the Galaxy, nobody knows who they are, isn't really going to do it, you know, for me, okay? Because, like I said, nobody knew who Iron Man was. And then, you know, it's going to tie into the Marvel movies. It's going to have the Easter eggs. You know, the Marvel movies traditionally, if they do this one, give you, you know, scenes during credits, you know, middle credits, after the credits. And also, this thing is still going to kind of bounce off the Avengers movie because I hear this is where Thanos is supposed to pop up. I don't know. You know, it's in space. You know, it's got Nebula, it's got Gamora, it's got, you know, Jim Starlin ties, Drax the Destroyer. In the comic books, his whole purpose was to take out Thanos, more or less, you know. So, you know, all the seeds are there for Thanos to be in it. Who knows, you know. And the other thing is that it might be able to pull in from two other things that had their own fans, right? Number one, Batista's in it, the wrestler, right? And Batista has fans. And there's a lot of people upset now. I haven't really watched wrestling in years, but Batista popped up at the Royal Rumble after quitting wrestling, doing some MMA stuff, UFC stuff, and now he's in this movie, and they pop up, and after being gone for so long, he ended up winning the Royal Rumble as soon as he's back, and now he's in the main event at WrestleMania. And there's people mad, but there are still Batista fans. And I have heard people say they're going to see the movie because Batista is in it, okay? The other thing is that you got the Whovian fans. Now, Chris Eccleston, who was a Doctor Who, he was Malekith in the last Thor movie. You know, he was the bad guy, and I didn't really hear a whole lot about this, man. But this one, he got Amelia Pond in it, you know. And there are people who I have heard say they are going to go see her, you know. Karen Gillan. So there's people who are excited about her being in the movie, so there are some people that's going to be in there. The other thing that I'm kind of seeing here is that if you just go by the trailer, Gamora, who is female, and Nebula, it seems like they're going to be the badasses in the movie, not the guys. The guys are going to, seems like they're coming off kind of like goofballs. And then you're going to have, like, Gamora was trained by Thanos, and her reputation in the comic books is that she's the most dangerous woman in the universe, you know. And then you got Nebula, who claimed to be Thanos' daughter or something, which never made sense to me. Thanos is in love with death, so thus I can't see him creating life, but, you know, this is for the movie people. Alright, so, the other thing is that, besides the hero fatigue, I think the Marvel movies better be careful of not getting villain fatigue. Everybody loves Loki. Loki is so popular, I don't really consider him a villain, almost like an anti-hero. The last Thor movie I watched, it was good. It was good. It had the spots, but it just didn't really pop until Loki was on the screen, and nobody remembers Malekith, you know. So this is a chance to really get another villain out there, you know. And could it be Nebula? I don't know. Is this a chance for them to bring in Thanos? Could be. You got the Infinity Gems. It's all there, and they're bringing in the Collector. You know, we got you know, the Collector could be really cool how they did him. I noticed that the Easter egg at the end of the Thor movie where they showed us the Collector who's going to be in this, Benicio del Toro is playing him, kind of had like a Star Trek feel to it from the 60s, so that could be cool, alright? But anyway, they could avoid villain fatigue. This is a chance to bring in a new villain. If it's Thanos, that'd be perfect, you know. And, you know, the other thing is that even though I just said at the beginning, towards the beginning of this video, that the current comic book could actually hurt the movie if everybody went and checked it out, at least they look like the comic book. And I want to talk about this movie by standing on its own, but it could be worse because, you know, go look at the cast that Sony, or excuse me, Fox Studios. When the Guardians of the Galaxy trailer hit, all of a sudden Fox Films ended up putting out stuff for their movies. Some really bad photoshopped images from the X-Men movie getting ready to come out, Days of Future Past, or whatever they're calling it. Just really bad chopped up photoshopped pictures, you know, to try to keep a buzz going and not be engulfed by Guardians of the Galaxy. And then they announced the cast of the Fantastic Four, and it's just awful looking. I mean, I don't even think they even started shooting the movie yet, but after seeing the cast, I'm like, oh my god, this is awful. They might as well just rebrand it something else instead of the Fantastic Four. And the other thing is that why I got a feeling that this thing is going to be a hit is because it's got the buzz. I'm making this video. I've seen other videos. There's response videos to the trailer. There's videos about why this thing's not going to fail. I've seen a video or two where they're just talking about the Guardians of the Galaxy. Nobody has talked about the Guardians of the Galaxy before that trailer hit. You know, just comic book fans that were into them and probably popped up a few books. People who were getting the buzz of the movie and popping some things up. And the comic book fans were the ones who are doing it. They were just go and look. You can dig through YouTube or whatever, and you can check the dates and see if there's any Guardians of the Galaxy videos that go way back. You know, if there are, they're few and far between. Okay, so it's already got a buzz. But my number one reason for why Guardians of the Galaxy is going to be a hit, man, you know, and it just sums it all up, man. Okay, raccoon with a fucking machine gun. That's it. That says it all. Bye.